Actually, my first doll
Hmm.
was a rubber doll male, which was kind of like, should I doodle?
Yeah,
please.
sure. Please
His
go
name
ahead.
was Pintu.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that was a name I gave him, which is funny.
Okay.
So I don't know why I gave him that.
Pintu was the doll's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Seems like a gender neutral name also.
That's
Pintu.
true actually.
Yeah.
But Pintu can be a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was a man.
Oh, it was a man.
It
okay.
was like very obviously male.
Huh.
I don't know why my mom gave it to me as a doll, but it was quite like cute. See,
Oh, that
Oh.
was okay. Oh, what is he wearing?
he was wearing a red, like a red pant and
Huh.
red trousers
Oh.
and a
okay.
red headgear,
Yeah.
which was. I really don't understand this toy at this point. It's becoming like a therapy lesson. But yeah, I had Pintu with me at all times.
Wow.
But they never took Pintu away from you.
No, they never took Pintu away.
What happened to Pintu? Died? Like, got burnt somewhere?
हाँ,
I think
कुछ-
it's still there.
That's dark. Sorry. I don't want Pintu to
कुछ
die.
हुआ होगा पिंटू को और my parents are actually extra. I think they made me give Pintu away to a younger child to
Oh.
teach me
Ah.
how to let go.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
Wow.
Okay, that's. I mean, I guess that's a good lesson.
It's
to
a very
teach
good
child,
lesson to teach.
yeah.
It's a very good
Like,
lesson.
Yeah.
Give up on your best friend.
I
and
think
hand
that's
it
what
off
they
to someone
they
else.
often gave my stuff to when they saw that I had not used it in 6 months or a year.
Right.
They would have. This is the other thing about living in a joint family. You learn
Right.
to share.
You learn to share, yeah.
True.
And that happened to me also. I mean, like I also grew up in a joint family,
Yeah.
and like I had clothes were passed down
Yeah.
obviously. Like after you grow up.
In
and-
fact, I think a joint family with either separate kitchens or is a perfect setup to explore gender in. Somehow it's nicer and easier for kids because it takes a village and whatnot.
Right.
And like if someone travels, then the other person's there.
You have gotten their back.
If
Yeah.
there's grief, then you share it together.
True.
I mean, of course there are fights, but who doesn't fight?
Yeah.
And whatever. But I really feel if here is where the unpaid housework bit. Why
Yeah.
most splits happen are because of property or because of one woman doing more for the entire than the other woman.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And somehow all these duties only fall on the women anyway. So it's bizarre.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is unquestioned, and that's
Yeah.
just I've kind of, even for as progressive as my parents are, but this is like the default setting of
Right.
society. So
Correct.
Absolutely.
they
correct.
easily regress into these roles.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
I-
it's kind of, if this aspect is sorted, joint families are great to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This patriarch
not so-
matriarch ना हो कोई, अगर
Right.
Yeah.
थोड़ा egalitarian हो तो अच्छा है.
But that's the thing. So like it only works if it's like a setting like maybe yours, because my joint family, I didn't really like growing up in a joint family.
Or really,
And no, एक तो privacy नहीं था. Always there was like something or the other happening, some drama.
no, yeah,
was
that's like
happening.
easier when you have different floors and things. वो
Yeah,
सब
yeah,
geographical
yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
really
yeah.
makes a difference.
No, we had like a like decentish big house in
Yeah.
Nagpur, right? And we had like separate rooms, all of that. But just the drama, no. Sometimes it got too much, like within the family, like bahuo ke beech mein, saas, bahu, then fathers and
Nagin.
uncles.
Was
and,
there a Nagin after this at all?
that would be funnier. though. Like, I mean,
15
like,
years later.
Yeah. But the interesting point about
Again, I mean, sorry to be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Marxist here, but
No.
you'll find a thing of unpaid, overworked women finally losing their shit with each other and then finding other reasons to fight also.
No, I
Like, that's the main reason it stems from.
yes.
I feel like it can, because it can always be like, यार मैं इतना साफ रखती हूँ, तुम गंदा क्यों रखती हो? और मैंने अभी पोछा लगाया था, तुम चप्पल पहन के आ गई.
Correct.
That's it. It triggers a war.
Correct.
But that is what happened, right? Like one of my aunts would do like something
आप
else.
चैप्टर मत पढ़ो, बात करते हैं.
हाँ, वही करना है एक्चुअली. ये तो एक्सक्यूज है गाइस. तो तुम मतलब कोई स्ट्रिक्टली हम थोड़ी करने वाले हैं कुछ. आई लव द इमेज. The image is interesting. एक हथौड़ा भी है वहाँ पे for some reason. In a child के पीछे एक हथौड़ा है वहाँ पे. एक चाबी, गाड़ी की चाबी है. Like वहाँ पे रखा है वहाँ पे बाजू में.
You know what I'm not seeing here?
Different, the ling.
हाँ. Like hatoda,
I think,
screwdriver.
listen,
Huh?
let's just be honest.
Huh.
This is not the best illustration or artwork. However, they have really tried to keep it gender neutral in a way.
हाँ बोलो.
Gender neutral and I don't know. And then just inserted other
Yeah, that's
emojis.
right.
and-
There's like a frock, there's a computer, but there's also a hatoda, there's a
There's
bat.
also jeans, there's a mukka, there's a
Yeah,
balan.
balan hai. There's a
Nahi.
shaving. There's a
No, it's
shaving.
not
thing.
balan. It's a.
I see a lipstick also.
Yeah,
This
there's
is a
lipstick.
bat.
There's
Oh
a
yeah,
bat.
there's a bat.
There's a bat and a book and a Hot Wheels car and a matka, computer,
This is that
lipstick.
plow. फार्म में जो प्लाव यूज करते हैं
हल,
वो
हल।
ये है.
हल बोल.
हल. हल राइट.
टोपी, झाड़ू,
सब कुछ है मतलब.
सब कुछ. हाँ, सब दे हैव रियली ट्राइड. और
They've
उनको पता नहीं चला होगा बच्चे को कैसे डिपिक्ट करे तो उन्होंने
They just drew a stick
Yeah.
figure because
Looks a
that's
little like Pinto, I'll be honest. I'm seeing some, I think second cousins में भी हो
पिंटू.
सकते हैं
Yeah, yeah.
Pinto.
हो सकते हैं.
One thing I'm not seeing here, Meghna, sorry to trigger you, is a teddy bear. Still don't see
Oh,
a teddy
of
bear
course,
here.
I don't see
Sorry.
it either. There's a pin too, as you said. वहाँ पे. So it's okay. Richa will be happy.
Yeah, there is a
Yeah.
Pintu.
But moving on to the next page, you know what the interesting thing about this was, Richa, that they used a example of someone in the 1920s from Samoa, and then they immediately went to Madhya Pradesh after that in 1960s.
Perhaps, yeah.
And you know, so just to like give context to whoever is not aware of what this chapter is, so the point that they're trying to make here is that there is a kid who is growing up in Samoa in the 1920s, and the whole point is that young people there are learned to take when they grow up, they are taught very practical skills. Like
Yeah.
fishing and going and hunting and whatever, and there they don't discriminate between boys and girls. Basically, the girls when they grow up they do the same thing, the boys when they grow up they do the same
Yeah.
thing.
It's kind. I feel like I honestly feel that there could have been an example from within India. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the northeast, the matrilineal
Precisely.
societies, or in Kerala.
Yeah.
Right.
But अभी मैं आई एम थिंकिंग फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू द बुक राइटर इट्स पॉसिबल दैट उन्होंने वो सब एग्जांपल्स डाले हो
हाँ.
मणिपुरी women, Assamese women in their vegetable market,
Right.
or women in Kerala fishing, or women in Maharashtra working the field. So उनको लग गया हो कि कोई ऑफेंड होके केस कर देगा, तो उन्होंने सोचा अच्छा एग्जाम्पल Samoan Island.
But you know the negative example is from Madhya Pradesh. So I mean,
नहीं, मध्य प्रदेश का नेगेटिव एग्जाम्पल इज जस्ट what we can all very universally agree on.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
hard to vouch for this, even though things are changing
Yeah,
very
even
rapidly.
yeah.
We've had whatever, but I'm saying it's hard to vouch for this. By and large, everyone will agree कि ये तो बुरी बात है.
हाँ, बुरी
है ना?
बात है. हाँ.
तो बुरी बात है तो there's this thing के
let me just read out this one section to give context to what you just said. So Madhya Pradesh is in 1960s. From class 7th onwards, boys and girls went to separate schools. The girls' school was designed very differently from the boys' school. They had a central courtyard where they played in total seclusion and safety from the outside world. The boys' school had no such courtyard, and our playground was just a big space attached to the school. Every evening, once the school was over, the boys watched as hundreds of schoolgirls crowded the narrow streets. As the girls walked on the streets, they looked so purposeful. Where is this going?
it's going somewhere nice actually.
This was unlike the boys who used the streets as a place to stand around idling, to play, to try out tricks with their bicycles. For the girls, the street was simply a place to get straight home. The girls always went in groups, perhaps because they also carried fears of being teased or attacked. This is 1960s Madhya Pradesh,
Yeah.
is what they are saying. But I
Correct.
can imagine this being 2022 Madhya Pradesh also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
or
sure.
Uttar Pradesh, or
Or
Maharashtra,
Haryana.
Anywhere.
or Haryana.
Haryana, where women, girls complained to the CM also that we're not being able to go to the school because these
Yeah.
boys on the way are teasing us.
But like growing up, Richa, did you have?
Of course, I grew up in Delhi.
Huh, exactly. So
Yeah.
like, is this like an accurate description of what you also experienced?
I'm maybe not as purposeful because I don't have to walk long distances. maybe 200, 250 meters or 500 meters at the most. But I did get teased a lot. Yeah.
So was it traveling in groups? Like what was the way?
It was traveling in groups, but no one made a deal of it. I'm like, honestly, if you grew up in Delhi, you're treated like a speed breaker. Because it's so rampant and it's so irritating. And women just, we are not as fazed by it as you might think.
Right.
But
Like it becomes like an everyday thing, unfortunately.
no, but
so.
I did have someone who used to follow me in the same car every day at that time.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
God.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a very.
In retrospect, I feel very stupid because I never got scared because I saw the guy driving was some like 16-year-old cute boy. Like, I'm bigger than you already.
Right.
I can beat you. But I mean, you can call it harassment. I mean, I was harassed by his presence, and
Right.
but I'm saying, this is the.
I mean, it's normalized, is what you're saying?
I'm not saying it's normal.
I mean, it was normalized then where you didn't see it as something.
What are you guys saying? Normalize. कोई तुम्हें लग रहा है कोई normalized? What do you You normalize eating pizza in India, right? Because it comes from Italy and America and God knows what.
Sure.
Right.
But you're saying normalized eve teasing as if you didn't grow up here, guys.
No,
Open
I
your
did.
goddamn eyes.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
everywhere all the time.
All
It's
the
a
time.
rite of passage.
Of course.
There's literally no woman I know who has not been through some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I agree with you. I mean,
Normalize nahi, matlab you just deal with it like it's carbon monoxide in the air that you're
Right.
breathing. You choose to filter in oxygen. It's so rampant and it's so irritating, and I can't wait for it to finally be so old that you can say words like normalize.